All right, today we're diving into a story that is so much more than just an ancient tale. Seriously, it's a masterclass in strategy, it's a tear-jerking family reunion, and it's the really unlikely birth of a nation, right in the heart of a powerful empire. Okay, let's get into it.
And that's really the big question here, isn't it? How does that happen? Well, the answer isn't found in some big war or revolution. Nope, it's in a personal journey, a really tough decision, and an incredible promise. So here's the setup. You've got Jacob, an old man who just found out his long-lost son Joseph is not only alive, but he's basically running Egypt. Pharaoh himself has sent for Jacob's entire family to come and escape a terrible famine. But, it's not a simple choice. Egypt is a foreign power, and leaving means abandoning the land that was promised to his ancestors. The entire future of his people rests on this one decision. So, right at this very moment of doubt, Jacob has a vision. And the message is incredibly direct. It confronts his fear head-on and then just smashes it with this massive promise. This journey, it's not just about survival anymore. It's a divine mission.
This promise is the engine that drives the whole story. Let's break it down. First, the goal. You're going to become a great nation in Egypt. That's a key detail. Second, the comfort. I will go down with you. Jacob is not going to be alone. Third, the future. Hey, this isn't a permanent exile. There's a promise of return. And finally, that personal touch. Joseph will be with you at the end. I mean, for a father who thought his favorite son was dead for decades, this is everything. The decision is made.
So, with the divine green light, the journey begins. But before we get to the really emotional reunion, the story pauses for something fascinating. The very first census of the nation of Israel, taken at the exact moment of its creation. Yeah, the story literally just hits pause to give us a head count. You can think of it like the first class photo of the founders. And this isn't just about counting heads, It's about establishing the official roster, the building blocks for the future 12 tribes. It's marking the starting line for a population boom that is going to change history. So the family structure is a little complex, right? It's organized around Jacob's two wives, Leah and Rachel, and their two maids, Zilpah and Bilhah. This table lays out those 12 founding sons, a structure that is absolutely crucial for understanding everything that comes later with the tribal divisions of Israel.
All right, let's run the numbers, and we'll do this quick. The count kicks off with Leah's line. She's the powerhouse of the family, contributing a whopping 33 people.
Then you add in the 16 descendants from Leah's maid Zilpah. See, every single branch of this family tree is vital to get to that final number.
From Rachel, who was Jacob's beloved wife, we get 14 descendants. And this is a super important group because it includes Joseph himself and his brother Benjamin.
And finally, Rachel's maid Bilhah adds the last 7 souls to the count, and that completes this foundational census. And that brings us to this powerful, really symbolic number, 70. So how do we get there? Well, it's the 66 people who made the trip from Canaan, plus Jacob himself, Joseph, and Joseph's 2 sons who are already in Egypt. This is the seed population. From these 70 souls, an entire nation is going to grow.
Okay, with the accounting done, the narrative snaps right back to the journey and to the emotional heart of this whole chapter, the long-awaited reunion of Jacob and Joseph.
Now, to really feel the weight of this moment, you got to remember the context. It has been over 20 years. For 2 decades, Jacob has mourned his favorite son, believing he was brutally killed. And for those same 20 years, Joseph has gone from a slave to the second most powerful man on earth, all without his family. The emotional stakes here are just incredibly high.
The description is just so simple and powerful. Joseph, this powerful ruler, doesn't wait to be met. He personally gets his chariot ready and rides out to meet his dad. There are no grand speeches, just this raw, physical reunion as he embraces his father and just weeps.
And Jacob's response is, wow. It's one of the most moving lines in the entire book. Now, this isn't a death wish born from despair. It's one of complete and total fulfillment. The greatest sorrow of his life has just been erased. Seeing his son Joseph alive, it completes his life story.
But after this incredible emotional peak, Joseph the son gives way to Joseph the leader. He knows reuniting his family is one thing, making sure they survive and prosper is a whole other ballgame. A very practical problem is looming. How is this family of shepherds going to fit into Egypt's sophisticated and very different society?
So what's the core problem?
Joseph's family, they're shepherds. It's their entire identity. But the text explicitly says that shepherds are an abomination to the Egyptians. This isn't just a mild dislike, okay? It is a deep cultural conflict. Their whole way of life is despised in their new home.
This is the strategic challenge. I mean, they can't exactly hide who they are. They've just shown up with all their flocks and herds. So what does Joseph do? He doesn't hide the problem, he uses it.
And here is his brilliant, totally counterintuitive plan. First, he's going to be completely upfront with Pharaoh. No games, no deception. He's going to announce, "My shepherd family is here." Second, he tells his brothers, "When Pharaoh asks what you do, you need to own it. Tell him you're cattlemen and shepherds."
And here is the absolute genius of the strategy. Because the Egyptians can't stand shepherds, they're not going to want them living nearby. So the most logical solution for Pharaoh is to give them their own separate territory away from the Egyptian heartland. Joseph literally uses cultural prejudice to secure his family the best pasture land in all of Egypt, the land of Goshen, where they can live and grow basically on their own. And it works. It works perfectly. They get their land, they are safe from the famine, and they get to keep their cultural identity. Joseph hasn't just saved his family from starvation. He has secured the perfect incubator for them to grow from a tiny clan of 70 into that great nation that was promised in the vision. So we'll end here. A family is reunited, a nation is planted, they have a home, they have a future, but their success, it depends on the goodwill of a foreign power. The very thing that gives them a safe space to grow, their separateness, could one day make them a target. And what happens when a new pharaoh rises to power who doesn't remember Joseph? Well, that is a story for another explainer.